Mera Bharat Mahan?
No.
Oh, not Bharat.
No.
We'll find out in this.
So what's up, guys? Welcome to a new video. So today's might be a bit controversial. I know we are going a bit hi-fi mode from all those quizzes and stuff. We're going to the controversial
YouTube
side.
doesn't take down the video.
Hope not. Well, this video is there, so I don't think.
Yeah.
So basically, we're gonna be reacting to a video where they're like exposing the ugly truth about Gandhi.
We don't know if it's.
Yeah, that's why I'm doing this air quotes.
So like Indian, we'll read the comments.
We will read some of the comments and see. Well, let's get started with this.
Great Mahatma Gandhi, a hero of India, a man who, through a campaign of non-violence, freed his country from the clutches of British imperialists. He was not just a father of a nation, but for some, he was considered almost saintly. He also liked to sleep alone in beds with his grandnieces and other young women, and held some shockingly racist views toward other races. Today, we'll shock some of you. We might even offend some of you. But we also think by the time we got to the end of this show, you will have also changed your mind as to how you think about Mr. Gandhi. Before we get to that, here's an abridged introduction to the man born Mohandas Karamchand Gandhi on October 2nd, 1869. He grew up in fairly comfortable surroundings, seeing that his father held the position of chief minister of the Indian state of Porbandar. His mother was said to be a very pious woman, which is where the young Gandhi discovered the beliefs of cherishing the soul of
Indian.
The religious devotion he saw by his mother would foster in him a sense of ethics that he later became famous for on a global scale. Things such as nonviolence, tolerance of others' beliefs, vegetarianism, and acts of self-purification were his badge. They were also steeped in hypocrisy at times. His beliefs were put to the test when he went over to London to study. Before he left India, he swore to his mom to not fall for the enticements of modern life, to stay clear of women and meat, and generally to uphold the beliefs she taught him. But while studying law in London, he witnessed late 19th century industry and all the horrors that could come with it. The streets of London were certainly not paved with gold. Far from it. Many Londoners with their ragged clothes and dirty faces didn't seem to be enjoying Britain's industrial wealth. Gandhi witnessed poverty, but he also witnessed activism there. It was the same when he went over to South Africa, where he saw much of the population living in abject poverty. Gandhi might have been an educated lawyer by this time, but that didn't mean he wasn't told, like other Indians, that because of his skin color, he wasn't allowed to walk on certain footpaths or enter certain buildings. There's more to this story, but let's just tell you the good Gandhi story first.
Well, that is good.
There he was, an educated man who considered himself as much English as he was Indian, but treated as a second-class citizen by the Europeans. One time, he was kicked out of a train coach because of his race. Like many other people of color, his rights were taken away from him. On other occasions, he was beaten up for not making
Subtitles.
room for a white passenger. If that wasn't bad enough, he was barred for staying at certain hotels, even though he had the money to pay for them. The story goes that Gandhi understood the many wrongs committed by the imperialists, and so it was at this juncture in his life when he decided he was going to bring about change. But his resistance, in line with his religious beliefs, had to be peaceful. One of the most famous lines is, "Every revolution begins with a single act of defiance." And this is how he began fighting for the rights of Indians. This is how he got a name for himself as an activist, which on one dark day in Durban, South Africa, almost got him lynched by a mob of angry white folks. He spent several years in South Africa, but he knew that India needed him. When he announced his departure from Africa, a statesman wrote, "The saint has left our shores." This statesman was a white South African. He finished the sentence, "I hope forever." Back in India, Gandhi carried on fighting for people's
So
rights.
wait, he fought in South Africa.
Sorry?
He went to South Africa to do what?
For poverty related and stuff, and then I think
So those
they
guys
said
loved
that
him.
is no
So they said
forever. That is the saints has left the shore.
the saint, the
Yeah,
saint.
but then they're saying, "I hope for forever."
They didn't like him.
Yeah.
So,
We just keep it in
He'd been
1.5.
beaten up,
It's a
he'd been
bit.
jailed.
it's in what?
It's in 1 point. I mean, keep it in 1.
Yeah, it was actually a bit first.
He'd been harangued and oppressed, and he still preached peace. He might have supported the British war effort, but he also never shied away from criticizing the British imperialists. We apologize to our Gandhi enthusiasts for skipping over many years of his life, but we think most of you know that this man became one of the most powerful people in India. His form of Indian nationalism was embraced by much of the country, most of the country in fact, and they started to believe that with the right will, the Indian people could be free of the British. His activism got him arrested on March 10th, 1922, and he spent the next 2 years behind bars, but he wasn't done by any means. In the years to follow, he would lead many of the Indian people to peacefully revolt against many facets of the British rule. His followers, and there were many, went to prison for their acts of civil disobedience. In 1932, while
Like
in
how
prison,
did he start? The riots, and like how did he make the people believe?
See, he went to India, and at that time, say it was British
Yeah,
colonization.
British were ruling India.
Yeah, India.
So like,
So then
how
he
did he make
started
Indian people
going like he was defying what they were saying, so people start to follow.
Okay.
If I'm not wrong, that's what he
he
did.
undertook a now famous fast over the disenfranchisement of those at the bottom of India's caste system, people called the Untouchables. When Indians saw how willing Gandhi was to die for his people, for the rights of the country's poorest, Second World War happened, and again the Indians were expected to fight for the British. But this time the
You know, when the Second World War, Indians were the most who fought for British, and they were the ones who died most for British.
Nah, definitely for the British.
Yeah, well, they were told to, but it was Indians who were mostly killed and Indians who were mostly fought.
Yeah.
National Congress wanted a form of self-government if it were to throw Indian nationals onto the battlefield. Close to 90,000 of them would eventually die, not to mention the perhaps 2.5 million total Indian casualties of war. Before the war ended, Gandhi had already started the Quit India movement. And then on August 15th, 1947, India finally got its independence. Okay, so what you've just heard is the condensed story of a man who saw cruelty and unfairness in the world and wanted to do something about it. He then took considerable risks in fighting the perpetrators of those wrongs, and he made it his life's work. It's now time we got into costume and became the devil's advocate. Here's a quote for you. Hitler killed 5 million Jews. It's the greatest crime of our time, but the Jews should have offered themselves to the butcher's knife.
At least, I don't know why I think this, but comparing to right now situation, I don't find Hitler that bad compared to the other people we have right now. At least Hitler was directly going for the Jews. Bro was directly going for them, and all those world
But
leaders.
they have a valid reason to kill the Jews.
Yeah, there was a reason, if I'm not wrong. I forgot. But at that time, the other world leaders were not cowards.
Right now, people are killing everyone.
Yeah, and plus the other world leaders were not cowards. They were fighting for the Jews, Right now, the world leaders are cowards, basically.
They should have thrown themselves into the sea from cliffs. It would have aroused the world and the people of Germany. As it is, they succumb anyway in their millions. Yes, those were the thoughts of Gandhi. He was taking nonviolence to another level, and he was not surprisingly condemned for saying such things. While his belief might not exactly fall into an ugly truth category, his moral absolutism made no sense at all to some people, especially those under attack from Germany. When the Nazis were bombing England, Gandhi seemed to think the Brits should not bother fighting back. This is what he said about that. I would like you to lay down the arms you have as being useless for saving you or humanity. You will invite Herr Hitler and Signor Mussolini to take what they want of the countries you call your possessions. If these gentlemen choose to occupy your homes, you will vacate them. If they do not give you free passage out, you will allow yourselves, man, woman, and child, to be slaughtered, but you will refuse to owe allegiance to them. In
So Gandhi
hindsight,
was
we all now
supporting
know
Hitler.
the many added horrors
I feel like Gandhi was against them because how they colonized them.
Yeah, I
that
understand.
would have occurred had governments followed Gandhi's instructions and just allowed Nazi Germany to do what it wanted. His assertion also sounds much worse when you consider some people now say that Gandhi was a racist. In 2019, in the African nation of Malawi, people were saying just that. In Ghana, that same year, a Gandhi statue was taken down at a university. You might think that's strange, given what we told you about Gandhi fighting for people's rights when he was in South Africa. Well, in Ghana, many people right now don't have much love for Gandhi, which can be seen on Twitter when folks use the hashtag #GandhiMustFall. Maybe you think it's a bit severe, but it sounds righteous enough when you know some of the racist things Gandhi wrote back when he was in Africa. For instance, he once wrote that white folks, despite their flaws, should be the predominating race in South Africa. You see, the young Gandhi, as you know, went over to England to get himself an education. It seems it was his dealings with the ruling British that convinced him that Europeans were just more civilized than the black people in Africa. We should say that he changed his entire stance in time and became an anti-racist, but it wasn't always like that. He also wrote in a letter summing up the beliefs to the British that the general belief seems to prevail in the colony that the Indians are a little better, if at all, than the savages or the natives of Africa. He absolutely thought that many Africans were savages, and used derogatory language too when referring to black people, such as the term kafir. In 1904, he wrote another letter saying that he was upset about these people living amongst Indians, saying, "About the mixing of the Kafirs with the Indians, I must confess I feel most strongly."
Basically, bro
He
was
wrote that as long
racist.
as-
Sorry,
He
he was calling
like
Africans kafir.
Kafir, yeah. He was racist towards
blacks
blacks.
were mixed with
But
Indians,
kafir
then
means non-religious.
Yeah, but
See,
this guy,
I didn't know.
Indians have maybe another
They now
Yeah.
understand why some
different.
people are now calling Gandhi out. They also accuse him of being a hypocrite, saying that he didn't believe in the rights of Africans at all, while also working with the British government in segregating whites from blacks. A stunning example of this is when Gandhi petitioned the colonial government in South Africa to ensure the Indian people didn't have to share the same queue as black people when they went to the post office in Durban. He didn't think it was fair that Indians couldn't queue with the whites. Some people now try to cover for Gandhi, saying he was just a product of his times, although one would think that a person of high intelligence would still have known right from wrong even if they didn't always fight for what was right. Others now say that Gandhi was a card-carrying member of the Aryan Brotherhood, and no, we don't mean that bunch of violent, angry neo-Nazis whose pastime is smoking amphetamines and sharpening ships. We mean the Brotherhood that wore suits and smoked pipes in dingy boardrooms. For example, when asked just how racist Gandhi was, one of his new critics wrote, Gandhi believed in the Aryan Brotherhood. This involved whites and Indians higher up than Africans on the civilized scale.
But
to that extent, he was a
are
racist.
we Indians
To
or
the extent that
Africans?
he wrote
I'm an African.
An African.
I'm an African.
We're also an Indian, so like.
Our great
So
grandfathers.
at Gandhi's time, it wasn't here. Like our great grandfathers were still in India, so
I
they didn't
don't
count
know.
Africa
I
yet.
don't know
Yeah, I
by
feel
that
like
time.
that's the thing.
Yeah.
But now it's mixed up. So
For me, if I'm someone else, are you an Indian guy, an African? I'm an Indian. I'm sorry, I'm an African. I'm an African.
Subjugation, he was a racist. As we say, Gandhi shifted his stance, but how much he shifted we can't say. The question is, when he was telling people to lie down for the Germans, did any part of him still believe in superior races? You have to remember, when Gandhi was in South Africa, it wasn't as if black people hadn't already for years been fighting for their rights. You can't just say Gandhi was a product of the times, because he knew very well that a race of people rightly felt they were violently oppressed. When Gandhi was in England, he spent most of his time hanging out with intellectuals and the odd vegetarian. And then, once he was in South Africa, he found himself having to share the same train carriages, enjoying the same cues of a people he referred to as coolies. He hated this. That much was evident in 1906, when during the Zulu Rebellion, Gandhi supported the British in what he termed the Revolt of the Kafirs. These people, who he pretty much believed were barbarians, he said deserved British rule because they spent most of their days in indolence and nakedness. Again, people say you have to forgive him for his foibles. They say he had his road to Damascus moment and he changed his views. Nonetheless, as his critics still point out, even if he did hold some racist views on racial hierarchies, why could he not ever refer to African people as Africans, not coolies or Kafirs? His utter lack of respect for Africans was evident when he attended a dinner party held by the British imperialist Hugh Wyndham, 4th Baron Leconfield. Gandhi was overjoyed to be seated next to some of the empire's toffs, and he quite enjoyed his aubergine cutlets and plum tart. He gave a speech about his leaving Africa, saying he hoped the Europeans of South Africa would take a humanitarian and imperial view of the Indian question. But one of his biographers pointed something else out. That was the fact that Gandhi never said any farewells to any Africans, even though he'd been in Africa. That biographer said Gandhi didn't think Africans deserved a goodbye message. We hammered his point home just a little bit, only because you have to admit that it's quite a huge deal when a human rights advocate fighting to end discrimination went along with discrimination and human rights abuses. If he was flawed in public, what about his personal life? Well, things get even more strange now. Gandhi once wrote to his son that a person who marries in order to satisfy his carnal desire is lower than even the beast. He had no time for casual sex and human relations, and he himself became celibate at age 38. He'd gotten married when he was 13, but turned away from sex later. So then why did the
He
Guardian
got married at the age of 13.
yeah, you didn't know that.
No?
Even the wife was 13 or 12.
When that child marriage thing, isn't it
But
illegal
at
itself?
that time it was not illegal.
Yeah. But it was not considered illegal.
Yeah.
It was not considered.
Gandhi was prone to having weird, manipulative flirtations with young, unmarried women. Why also in 2021 did some people in California knock down a statue of the great man? The answer is that some people think Gandhi wasn't just hypocritical when it came to racial equality, but also in relation to his thoughts on sexual purity. When it was decided that the statue in California should be re-erected,
Wait, didn't they say that like when they got married he didn't have sex?
No. He had.
He had.
Yeah, that's how did he get kids, bro?
No, like he was not
Then
that,
he left sex.
like he did kids and then he left.
Yeah, I think.
He went to the
yeah. Which he
called the
celebrated.
Organization for Minorities of India was dead set against it. When asked why, a spokesperson for the group explained Gandhi was instrumental in influencing national treatment of women in India. He said, "My life is my message," and the life he modeled for the nation was one of sexually exploiting his grandnieces and many other teenage girls under the guise of performing celibacy experiments. Gandhi stands accused of being sexist, racist, and also committing creepy acts with young women. Like other spiritual leaders that have tainted the earth with their footsteps, Gandhi has been called a predator, which we don't have to tell you is a really bad look for someone touted as being a man of peace with a pure soul. Nonetheless, when people are accused of such things, we should hope there's a lot of evidence, or even some evidence, to back it up. Well, he was against birth control, unless it was the kind of control that involved a man or a woman taming their animal passions, Once he said, if people have too much sex, they will become soft-brained, unhinged, in fact, mental and moral wrecks. Then, when he was an aging man in the 30s, he asked his young grandniece to get into bed with him. He told her that it was an experiment to see if he could control his own animal passions. As bad as it looked, he didn't hide what he was doing, which was to test or further test his conquest of sexual desire. It was written that he didn't care what people thought about it. One author said, when a close disciple heard of Gandhi's experiments with celibacy, he had threatened to leave the ashram unless Gandhi rectified his predatory behavior. His choices were clearly never acceptable. These experiments not only involved his grandniece, but other young women and girls at the ashram. He never did have intercourse with them, but let's just say he really tested himself. As for how his wife felt about all this, Gandhi never seemed to show her much love. He once said he couldn't bear to look at her in the face, and is famously known for denying her life-saving drugs. He certainly took a lot of criticism for the 2-week
They
celibacy
were married
experiments,
since the age
and
of
he still
13.
does
So
now.
Yeah, okay, like-
obviously, like maybe the love was.
Okay, the love factor,
I didn't think they were
care
in
about
love.
that.
I think they were
It's a
married
revenge
for.
story. But this was
Known for denying
denied saving, like for spending on her life-saving drugs.
her life-saving drugs.
Wait,
He
so like,
certainly
wait, I didn't understand.
Like I think she
Yes.
must be sick or
Yeah.
something,
took a lot of
so he
criticism
denied
for
for the
the
medical.
celibacy experiments, and he still does now, just as he does for many of his more conservative beliefs regarding sex and gender. To give you an idea about those beliefs, his answer to 2 women being attacked by men in the street was for them to shave off their hair so they were no longer attractive to men. Yeah, you blamed
It's
women
like that
for-
video. Have you seen that?
Yeah, they were laughing in the.
Yeah, like no, like if you're already getting raped,
yeah.
just enjoy it. People are
problem.
No,
left
like
out.
if you're enjoying a rap, then that's not a rap. I think he said
No.
like that. Yeah.
It's like if you're already getting raped,
Just
why
enjoy it.
not
Yeah,
just
yeah,
enjoy
yeah,
it?
yeah,
That's
yeah,
like
sorry,
effed
yeah,
up.
yeah.
People are
as
just
far as to
messed
say
up.
that a woman's menstruation cycle was actually a
He might be
manifestation
in
of the
the
distortion of a
Gandhi,
woman's soul
James
by her
Green,
sexuality.
yeah.
For many
That's
people,
true.
Gandhi was a racist with a predilection for sexually focused predatory behavior. Others say, leave him alone. The man did good on the whole and can be said to have done something not
Okay,
many
that-
people
I said
expect
this
to,
thing is
actually
very
changing the world. Today, we just played the devil's
might have-
advocate, and we'll let you decide what to make of
I might have an
Gandhi. The darker
explanation
parts of
maybe.
his life don't figure
when
much
being
when
a
it comes to his
racist.
legacy, but hey, mythologies
Like-
are rarely interested
What? Okay.
in
Like
nuance.
maybe-
Now, you need to watch another
Okay.
myth.
Maybe he was trying to make the British focus on Africans more so that they leave the Indians. You know, he
But
was,
you know, bro,
he was
I get what
trying, he was
you're
trying to
saying.
make Indians and
Shift
white
their
attention
attention to
he was
Africa
like,
so
we
they leave
India,
India.
Indians and British should be together. So he was
Yeah.
trying, you know.
Yeah, I get you.
But yeah,
But
it
at
was
that
a bad way.
time, British were strong.
Yeah, I know.
They were
that's,
ruling the
that's,
whole
that's
world.
why he was
So
trying
even
to
if they went to British focused to Africa, they were still focused on India. So like, you know, the thing is, I
Yeah,
feel
yeah,
like Gandhi messed up. Forget Africans, he messed up his own Indians. How? Because when Indians go to America, to UK, Indians hate white. But when you see
Really?
Indians hate the white, not all,
Yeah, not us.
but not like Indian, the ones who stay in India and
yeah,
stuff.
yeah, but when you say like okay,
Okay, when I say Indians, I mean those
Yeah,
in
yeah,
India. Okay, not all Indians hate the whites, but there are Indians who hate the white people. And I'm not saying whites are good. What British did was good.
Yeah.
Even they did bad. But
Everybody
even
had
this
their-
guy, you can't.
yeah, you can't say it was
Because like right now, people be like
like he
his
was,
famous thing. Like once someone slaps you, keep your other cheek forward. Let him slap you again.
Yeah,
That's
you
what
see-
he uses to cover up
You see, he didn't use weapons to fight with
Yeah.
the British. He used his brains.
brains.
But in a
In a bad way, he tried to like.
but I would say smarter, but like
I feel like
when
this
when
video is
when you
quite
think from an African point of view, it's you say bad way.
Bad way, yeah.
But like when I think,
But
in
even
general,
as an Indian, you at a point, like especially this celebrity thing was
that was.
that just messed me. Like I'm telling you, honestly, this video is like
But I think
messed
that,
up my point of view
That's
of
why
Gandhi.
labor marriage was cancelled. So like when you're 20, you're smart. Like when he got married at 13, he wasn't smart.
But bro, it's not like even if it is illegal, it's
That's
still
why he
happening.
had that thing
Yeah.
for doing
Yeah,
stuff with
neutralization.
the nieces and
Yeah,
stuff.
the celebrity thing. But the sad thing is, it still happens in India.
Yeah,
It does.
Yeah, it does.
Unfortunately, in small villages.
Like,
Forget
like-
small villages.
Like right now, since
big,
Epstein's thing has been
Epstein
revealed,
files, yeah.
there's certain I've heard like from India daily around 20 to
Yeah, I've
25
seen.
kids get,
get
lost.
lost, like kidnapped.
Nobody knows where they go.
It was like the child
Yeah,
abuse
that's
is
really bad.
terrible.
It might be even here.
I hope it's not that much in Kenya.
it's not that much, but I think
Yeah,
it
it's
is.
not like that in
Like, you know,
also.
and certain areas.
Yeah, I hope it stops. I'm telling you, I'm not gonna lie. This is giving me end of world vibes. The way the
Right
world
now?
is right now. I see number 3 coming up.
What about three?
I hope not. I hope.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm just praying it does not come, because America is gonna be affected. Africa is gonna be affected. I feel like
everyone.
India,
I can't. Maybe South,
Korea,
South,
China
South
will.
America plus might not.
Yeah,
be.
maybe
Would they be
China.
affected?
I think China,
South
guys.
America, Australia, that areas won't be
Yeah,
affected.
like I'm
Maybe
saying about
Europe,
countries
Asia,
that will like
I'm
involve.
going for continents like Europe, Asia, Africa.
Yeah, but
Africa,
don't
but
go for
not-
continents.
yeah, Africa, not
Continents
all.
still like the countries.
Yeah.
Like I feel like Korea, Japan, China, those guys will go like a bit side. I don't think safe.
Yeah.
They have
I
the
don't
stuff.
think they'll be safe. Like if
No,
you're
I
taking
mean by
like
safe, they won't take part. That's what I feel like.
I think they would have to take part forcefully because like let's say
Depends if the one side
I
of the
don't
country
know
is
the
getting.
maps, but like
Yeah.
let's say if this country is getting attacked and this one don't want to attack, but they have to attack to help them.
Yeah,
Because
in
if
that
they
way,
get
yeah.
cooked,
Yeah, in
they
that
are
way.
cooked.
In that way, I agree.
That's why I'm going for continent.
Yeah, and
just
that's why I
live
agree.
together.
Like how
Like example,
Russia-
Mombasa gets attacked. Nairobi
Yeah.
don't want to attack, but they have to attack because if Mombasa gets cooked,
I get you.
Nairobi is next. So obviously Malindi is next.
Like how I think
They have to come together.
Russia
Russia is
supported Jews when Germans were attacking. Was it Russia? I can't remember. There was a country that supported Jews.
I'll be honest, I don't know right now, but the one I'm new to it, like so I can't.
I'm like I can't watch
You can
this
talk
stuff.
with Alan, bro.
Yeah.
He's next.
I'm telling you, talking with the guys, this stuff, they give you so much info.
I might have to go deep in this, but
Oh,
right
yes.
now,
Iran has no multimedia, so you can't know what's happening in Iran.
really,
Yeah, like
and the king died actually.
president.
Was it-
Yeah, he was like
So rest in peace.
uh,
As a maid, yes, I don't know.
like his death has been a good thing for them because now he's considered as a martyr,
Oh yeah.
so it's a good thing for them.
Yeah.
But it's effed up. Like the Americans knew exactly what this guy was. Imagine, they knew where he was coming to bomb him.
I feel that would be like
But hats off to
Easy,
Iran, boss.
you know,
Hats off to
technology.
Iran, the only Muslim country who fought for Gaza.
really.
Only
Now they're
Muslim
done.
country.
Are they done? Or they're still like
Oh, Gaza,
Iran.
it's still happening. Iran and Gaza, it's still happening.
that's a bro. it's
But
been
like
years.
shame on UAE, shame on all the other Muslim countries, shame on them
Yeah,
all.
they're not fighting.
Honestly, shame on us Muslims. That's what I say. Shame on us Muslims.
Really,
Yeah,
strong point. Yeah,
shame on us Muslims for not supporting our brothers and sisters. Shame on us. Let's just stop. I'll keep going. Take care. Like, share, subscribe, guys. Let's pray. Something happens. Something good happens. Let's all just pray. Fingers crossed. Take care and peace.